What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. I'm super excited because I'm doing a little bit of a different video today. I hit a goal of 500 subscribers a week ago, and to celebrate, I really wanted to do a Q&A. I know that people do these all the time, but I've never really had enough followers or subscribers to do that, so I didn't get a ton of questions, which I totally expected and is completely fine. So this video might not be that long, but I thought it would just be kind of fun to switch things up a little bit. Most of the questions are still book related, so stick around. I'll still be talking about books. But yeah, so that's all we're gonna do today is just answer some fun questions. Thanks so much to all of you that have subscribed and watched my videos. It just means so much to get to be able to make content that is hopefully liked and enjoyed and received well. It's been a really fun year of talking about books with you guys, and I love doing this, so thank you. Okay, getting all the gushy stuff out of the way first. Let me go back and find these questions. There's like 5. Okay. So the first question is, if you had to pick a favorite genre, what would it be, and has it changed over time? That's such a good question. It definitely has changed over time. I've been reading books forever. I would say my first genre that I ever loved and just read books from all the time was YA contemporary, particularly anything that had to do with like a romance aspect and like a little love. I was all about those books for a really long time, especially in high school. I loved John Green. He was like my favorite author. It definitely has changed. I would say my favorite genre right now would have to be mystery thriller. I think that that has just been a tried and true genre for me within the last year. It's not something that I used to read a lot of, but I'm reading a lot more books within that genre now, and I'm just loving it. It's such a fun, thrilling. Most of the mystery thrillers I read, I'm just always immersed in what's going on, and a lot of them are fast-paced, and you're just never really bored with mystery thrillers because you're constantly trying to see what's going to happen. I really have steered away from YA over the last year. There's a lot that I've tried to read and just realized that I haven't enjoyed it as much being more of an adult now, so I would have to say that mystery thriller is probably my favorite genre at the moment. Yeah, it's kind of weird to say because I never thought I would enjoy that genre, but I really do. The next question says, favorite bookish memory, books that you have given as gifts. So that's like a 2-part question, I feel like. Favorite bookish memory. I have 2, and it's like one for each parent. So my dad, when I was a little girl, used to read me the Dr. Seuss book Hop on Pop, and I just remember loving that book, and I think I also remember trying to like jump on him afterwards because that was like, it was called Hop on Pop. So I just remember trying to like tackle him afterwards. I remember, I don't know, just like vividly being on like our living room floor, and he would read that book to me when I was really little. It's probably one of the earliest memories I have as well. That was like my favorite Dr. Seuss book still to this day of all time. And then the other bookish memory that I have is when my little sister was born. I was 9 years old, and when she was born, my parents gave each of us a little gift, and my mom gifted me with Where the Sidewalk Ends by Shel Silverstein, and she like inscribed it, and I just remember loving Shel Silverstein and loving that collection of poetry and just loving that it came from my mom. Like, it just, there's something about those poems that are really like whimsical and dreamy, and to this day that's just still a book that I think of and have really like fond memories of, and I always think of my mom giving me that book. So for that second question, it was books that you have given as gifts. So I actually don't feel like I gift a lot of books. I'm really particular about how I gift books because I love books so much that it hurts my heart to think that I would buy a book for someone and it would just sit there. So I really try and gift books if I know the person, first of all, is a reader. They have to be a reader and have to want to read the book. The last book that I gifted was actually the Chronicles of Narnia set to my little brother for Christmas. He did ask for it, but he really likes Chronicles of Narnia. He really likes C.S. Lewis. So even if he wouldn't have asked for it, I think it's something, had I known he didn't have it on a shelf, I definitely would have thought of. I really like to think of who the person is, what they like to read, what I really feel like they would enjoy reading. Would I love to just gift everyone my favorite book of all time and be like, here's this book, love it? Yes, but I'm like super serious about my gift giving. So I try and just really think really hard about something that that particular person would really like. I will say say one book that I feel like is now going to be kind of like one that I would gift to multiple people, even if I knew that they didn't necessarily love reading, is the book Everyone's an Alien When You're an Alien Too by Jomny Sun. I think it's just a really cute story, and I think it has a lot of hidden depth, and I think that anyone could read that book and find like a little bit of something that they relate to or feel. And it's like, I read it in like 30 minutes. It's a really short like graphic novel. It's cute. I love it. Highly recommend giving that book as a gift for sure. Okay, I'm sitting on my knees. I have to stand up. Okay. Oh. So the next question is, what was the very first book you remember reading and how old were you? So I mean, I want to say The Hop on Pop by Dr. Seuss was probably one of the books that I read first. I mean, I feel like I was really young too, like 3 or 4. Although this question does say, what was the very first book you remember reading? So if I read it, my mom told me, I think she still tells me, and Mom, if you're watching this video, you should comment and tell me, but she told me that I was reading books in kindergarten. I can't remember reading any books in kindergarten. They probably weren't that like enamoring. I remember reading the Magic Treehouse series in like 1st or 2nd grade. I think it was like book number 3 where they go into the rainforest and there's something about like a little baby cheetah or something. I remember that one. That was, oh man, Magic Treehouse. That was some good stuff right there. Okay, here's a little non-bookish question. My friend asked, how did you get your cat George? That's a really good question, and I hope I can do this articulately and not ramble too much. So we love cats in this family. We have 3 cats. My cat Misha, that I brought with me into my marriage when we got married, and then Scout, which we adopted for my husband because he kind of wanted his own cat. So we adopted Scout 2 years ago. And then last year, we were living in an apartment. It was like 900 square feet. It was in a not very good area, and there was no way we could have 3 cats in an apartment. I've never wanted 3 cats at the same time. 2 is like maximum that, like, you know, you really like cats, you got 2 cats. I was like, no way, we can't have 3. Like, my husband loves cats, and if he could, we would have like 50. So there was this stray orange tabby cat. And that's the other thing you gotta know about me. I never wanted a tabby cat. I'm very vain. I'm so mean. I really like fluffy cats. Like, the fluffier the better. I want like a Maine Coon, like an actual Maine Coon someday. Anyway, so there's this orange tabby cat. He started coming around our apartment, and he was basically like a little stray that would hang around, and he was around for probably a month and a half to 2 months. And because I could tell he was hungry, and our neighbors would be really mean to him when they passed him on like the stoop. They would kind of like kick him out of the way, and it just broke my heart. And so I started bringing him down food, which I know I shouldn't have done, because the moment I brought him food, it just was all over. So, but I kept rationalizing with myself. I'm very much a rational person. My husband is a huge dreamer, and I'm like, let's keep our feet on the ground. We can't bring in a stray cat. We just got married. We are so broke. We have 2 cats. Like, this cat could have diseases. It could bring it to our cat. We can't go to the vet. Like, there's so many kill shelters where we live. Didn't want to call a shelter on him. I just didn't know what to do, and I wrestled for months. I would feed this cat outside, and he would just be outside. So one Saturday morning, we had a terrible storm here. Like, horrible, bad, really awful storm. Like, tsunami storm. Like, it was crazy windy and raining and thunderstorming, and it was like nuts. I mean, this is probably one of the worst storms I've seen since we've lived here to this day. Really bad storm, and I'm looking out, I'm like, man, this is a crazy storm. Wow, I'm not even thinking about the cat. All of a sudden, I see this little orange, like, blur, zoom, and like run under a car, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that cat, he's out in the rain, he's out in the storm, what are we gonna do? And my husband probably, this is the moment he realized that he married a crazy person, because I get on like sweatpants and a sweatshirt thinking that's gonna shield me from the tsunami that's happening outside. And I am like determined I'm gonna go get this cat, bring him in, and like bring him in our bathroom, at least until the storm passed, and then I'll have to bring him back outside. So I go outside and I'm calling like, come here, kitty. And it's like, the moment I step outside, my entire outfit is just drenched wet. And I'm this crazy person. People are literally watching me from their windows. And I'm like, come here, cat, come here. And he like comes out from under the car, but then like this huge gust of wind comes, and I thought it was a tornado. Like, I was so scared, and he goes bolting like past me, and I go to grab him and I miss him, and I'm like, no, I'm sobbing, and I'm walking around in my sweats, like, and just drenched, and I'm like, come, where are you? Come back, come back. And it was, at the moment, it was awful. I mean, it's funny now, but at the moment I was like traumatized. I felt so bad that he was out in this storm, and I got in and I'm just like sobbing, and my husband's like, what? Like, it's okay, he'll be okay. And I'm like, no, he's dead. And I'm just like, I had the worst time. So in that moment, I compose myself and I just start praying, and I'm like, okay, God, like, please protect this poor innocent creature. Please, if if this cat makes it through this storm, we will take him in. Like, I feel that this is the right thing to do. This is our cat. Like, please protect him. And so about another hour, the storm passed, and I go outside, I call for him, he doesn't come, and then we have to take the trash out or something like that. So I'm taking the trash out and I bring it over to the dumpster, and as I'm walking back, and like there's like branches everywhere and the sun's coming out, like the aftermath of a crazy storm. And he's just sitting right on the stoop waiting for me, right on our stoop. And he's drenched and he just looks, and he has the cutest little meow. He's like meow, like cutest meow you've ever seen. He has kind of like a mug face too. Like, he's not a very cute cat. He's kind of ugly, but he has the highest pitch meow. And he just goes meow, and I'm like, oh, you're mine. So we literally, that moment, we got him in our car and took him to a vet, and they had like a package if you've taken a stray, and got him his vaccinations and all this stuff. Come to find out that he actually was already fixed. He is an adult cat. He had a chip in him. We tried calling the number that was attached with the chip, and their phone was disconnected. So we do believe that like whoever his owner was just abandoned him. And yeah, the rest is kind of history. We have loved him ever since. He is such a great addition to our little cat family. And sorry if that was a long story, but that's what happened. We love George so much and just have like such a huge bleeding heart when it comes to cats and stray cats. And okay, that was the story. I need to go down here because my legs hurt. Okay, sorry for the angle change. Let's see. Middle grade graphic novel recommendations. Yes. This one. I have so many middle grade graphic novels. Yes, I have 4 that I just pulled off my shelf. I love graphic novels, and I really like middle grade graphic novels. They're just fun. One kind of weird one I have is called Home Time. I think this is actually by an Australian author, if I'm not mistaken, by Campbell White. And it's a really big book, but it follows like 4 or 5 friends getting out of middle school for, I think, the weekend, and they end up stumbling into this fantasy world. And it's really fun and weird and funny and adventurous, and the art is beautiful. I mean, it's full page color, just absolutely stunning. Totally love this one. As the story progresses, the art style changes, which is also really fun. So I recommend this one. I also really enjoyed Awkward by Svetlana Chmakova. The art style in this is really like muted, and it's just pretty and pastel, which I'm a huge fan of. But this was really good. Like, this was super cute. I want to pick up more of this author's graphic novels because there's a few of them now. But it follows like this new girl in school, and on the first day of school, she bumps into like this kid in the hallway, and she ends up being kind of mean to him, and like, but just because it was like a knee-jerk reaction, and so she kind of feels bad and she wants to say sorry like all these different times throughout the school year, but she feels scared to do it. And then he's like in the science club and she's in the art club, and they're having kind of like a little bit of rivalry. It's just so cute, and there's also some pretty cool diversity in this book. So really like this one. Really sweet and endearing read. I loved it. And then another one that I love so much that I actually read and have read a couple times is Ghosts by Raina Telgemeier. This is so good. It's like about a Hispanic family, and Katerina and her sister Maya, and Maya actually has cystic fibrosis, so it talks a lot about that. And like, they go and they move to this town, and they meet this boy who talks to them and who like tells them that there's ghosts in their town, and they learn about like Day of the Dead and stuff like that. It's just really cute. I really like this one. This is probably my favorite middle grade graphic novel rec. I really like this one a lot. The next question says, what inspires you to purchase a book? Reviews, book cover, word of mouth, etc. I would have to say there's a couple things. Reviews for sure. I'm a pretty avid booktube watcher. I love watching y'all's videos and book recommendations and wrap-ups. And if someone is like really passionate about a book, it just makes me excited to read it. Also, when people just have good personal reviews and they can really explicitly tell me what the book was about and then why they enjoyed it so much, that makes me like super excited to read it. And then I think definitely the cover of the book. It's a good cover. It's pretty. Like, I just want it. Like this book right here. It's been sitting on my shelf forever, and I kind of want to read it, but I also just want to stare at it all the time because it's so pretty. Next question said, if you could only read one genre for the rest of your life, which one would you choose? Oh my gosh. know. I want to say, oh, I don't know. I was gonna say like mystery thriller right off the bat because it's my favorite genre, but I feel like that would also put me in just like a weird mindset all the time. So then I kind of almost want to say fantasy because there's just so many different worlds. I feel like I would never get bored with fantasy. If I can only read one genre, I'm struggling. Help. Dang, I don't know. I think I'm gonna say fantasy. As weird as that is, because that's probably one of my least read genres, but I just feel like if it was for the rest of my life and I could only read that one genre, that I would just never get bored with the various worlds that were created. So I'm gonna go with fantasy. As weird as that is, fantasy is my choice. I'll probably end up regretting that later. The next question is, are you ever going to write a book? And the easy answer is no. I just have no desire to write a book. I am like super overwhelmed by that. Even thinking about that just makes me so overwhelmed. I studied songwriting in college, so I like to write songs, but basically if I ever did write a book, it would be probably like poetry, just because that's the closest to maybe songwriting. So, but really, realistically, will I ever write a book? Probably not. I wish, like that'd be cool, but nah. Okay, this is the last question. If you could have coffee with any author, who would it be? Oh snap, that's a great question. I think it would have to be Chloe Benjamin. She is the author of The Immortalists, which is one of my favorite books of all time, and she just seems so cool. I follow her on Instagram and she's super into knitting, and she knits like a ton, and even though I don't knit, I also am a little crafty, but she just seems like really chill. And also The Immortalists is just such a stunning work of fiction, and the characters that she wrote, like I would just love to sit down and have a conversation with her and listen to anything she has to say, because oh my gosh, whatever mind created those characters and that whole story is just so amazing, and I would love to have a conversation with her. That would be amazing. Yeah, Chloe Benjamin. Also, go read the book The Immortalist because it is so good. Okay, you guys, well, those are all of the questions that I have. Thank you so much for asking me some questions. I hope this wasn't boring, and thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. It just means so much, and I really love doing this. So thank you again. I will talk to you soon in my next video. Bye!